The idyllic backdrop of the Canadian Rockies, where global leaders have now ended 2 days of critical meetings, is a sharp contrast to the major geopolitical and economic tensions simmering around the world. At least 10 people were killed and dozens injured after Russia carried out one of its deadliest attacks ever on Kyiv. And there are explosions over Tel Aviv tonight as Iran launches a new wave of missiles and Israel has carried out fresh strikes in Tehran. Late this evening, Prime Minister Mark Carney gave his closing remarks, reiterating calls for de-escalation in the Middle East and billions more in support for Ukraine. And inside that room in Kananaskis was CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Couteur. Mike, on the issue of Ukraine, there seems to be a gap between what the Prime Minister told reporters this evening about why the U.S. didn't sign on to the joint statement and what you are hearing. Walk us through that.
Yeah, it's interesting, Omar, because earlier in the day, a senior government source told us that there wasn't going to be that joint statement on Ukraine because the U.S. wanted to water down the language. Now, we were being told that it's because they didn't want to ruin their negotiations with Russia. As a result, it made it into the chair statement, which is something that is given by the host country of the G7. Now, we asked afterwards in his press conference of Prime Minister Mark Carney, and he was trying to quash any idea that U.S. President Donald Trump was trying to weaken that statement. In fact, he said that no other leaders had any input into that statement to try and make it any lesser than it is already. Have a listen.
There would be, if you want a nuance or if you want a sense, there would be things that some of us, Canada included, would say above and beyond what was said in the chair's summary. But the recognition of the importance of the initiative of President Trump to achieve a lasting peace, absolutely agreed. That we are resolute in pursuing all options to maximize pressure on Russia, including financial sanctions, agreed. That we recognize that Ukraine alone has committed to an unconditional ceasefire, agreed. And that we all agreed that Russia must do the same.
Now, on the meeting with the Indian Prime Minister, there's been, as we know, a diplomatic chill. The invitation has been controversial. What did the Prime Minister tell you about what the two leaders talked about in their meeting and about the state of the relationship?
Yeah, they're going one step further, Omar, really trying to repair that relationship. Both of the leaders agreed to reappoint high commissioners in each other's countries. Now, we know that those relations went frosty as a result of those RCMP allegations that there were elements of the Modi government that were involved in homicides and extortions in this country. That is something that obviously India has denied in the past. And the Prime Minister was asked specifically about whether or not he brought up to Prime Minister Modi that killing of Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Here is what he had to say.
We have had a discussion, the Prime Minister and I, about the importance of having the law enforcement to law enforcement dialogue, which is not just dialogue, cooperation directly. The importance of addressing transnational repression, as I noted, including when we met, and obviously there is a judicial process that's underway, and I need to be careful about further commentary.
Omar, I asked him yes or no. Did he bring up the murder? And the Prime Minister referred back to his previous answer.